will a medical doctor work for 9 months, 16 months, 19 months without getting paid?
But you see how much kidnappers are eating from victims.
My bill is government should, I think all the stakeholders should say they need to be spoken to together and appeal to them.
The 3% for the oil producing community is too low.
So it is support that is needed. And once you get the support, your airlines will blossom.
This is Nigeria. You need to give people sense of belonging.
Good morning. Welcome to Inside Nigeria. Coming to you live from Leadership Podcast Studio in Abuja. Inside Nigeria is a forum where we review stories that are making the rounds in the country, Nigeria. And of course, we'll start with our staple, Leadership newspaper. But before we do that, I have somebody with me in the studio to review the paper headlines. And he's a public affairs analyst, and he's also a journalist too. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Taye Odewale is also with Blueprint Newspapers. Thank you so much for being a guest in the studio today.
It's a pleasure.
Without wasting much time, we'll go over to our staple, the nation's leading newspaper, and that is Leadership. Leadership has on its cover today, Chief Justice of Nigeria quizzes 6 chief judges today, Monday, the September 9th, 2001, over conflicting ex parte orders. CJN quizzes 6 chief judges today over conflicting ex parte orders. And on the right that we have, demands records of proceedings, invites Delta Chief Judge over a recent judgment. A judge can sit in Kebbi and give an order in a case filed in Rivers, Sans. CJN, that is the Chief Justice of Nigeria, quizzes 6 chief judges today over conflicting ex parte orders, demands records of proceedings, invites Delta Chief Judge over a recent judgment. And of course, from the Sans, this says a judge can't sit in Kebbi and give an order in a case filed in Rivers. These are more in Leadership newspaper. For more of the stories, you can go to Leadership website for more of the stories. But before we move on, we have a public affairs analyst, Mr. Odewale. What do you have to say to that?
It's a very welcome development. If you remember last week, Monday, when this scenario started up for the scenario of completing court order, on one state to the other, on the same case, court with coordinate jurisdiction, even different order. We said the judiciary should wake up and rescue itself from the grip of the politicians. And I'm happy that the CJN
is within
him. And the one that is very, very good in the that is that SAN, the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, say a judge can sit in Kebbi and give an order in a case filed in Rivers. Can you just imagine a case is filed in Rivers? Maybe the interlocutory judge is given in the Rivers, and another court of coordinate jurisdiction, the High Court in Kebbi, we now issue another order. Which one the relevant authority, the order is usually to which one will you now obey?
You know, Mr. Odewale, 2 weeks ago we had a PDP affair. A judge ex parte order was given in Rivers State against the PDP Secondus chairman.
Okay.
And the Secondus also got his in Kebbi. We had one coming in from Cross River, and again one in was it Delta or Kebbi? Completing. Then last week again we had a judge also giving an ex parte order on the Buni-led ethical committee of APC.
That one is Delta. That of Buni.
Yes, it was Delta. Yes, I know.
Delta. The party has responded that order from Delta will be challenged, and that as far as they are concerned, it's not from Delta State is supposed to bring that out. It is in Abuja here.
Exactly.
But the seat of the National Court of the Party is in Abuja.
Mm.
The person you are filing litigating against, his
Exactly.
office, he operates from Abuja. Now, the if you have problem within the Delta chapter of the party, it's a different ball game entirely. And taking it another to take. Now, but PDP that started this thing, the one that restored secondary was from Kebbi.
Yeah,
And you can see
exactly.
the senior advocate of Nigeria as reported it by the leadership this morning. Say a judge can sit in Kebbi and give an order in a case filed
In
in
Rivers.
Rivers.
Exactly.
You can sit in Kebbi and give an order. If you know that you have, if the attorneys of secondaries believe that they have merit of the case in their own hand, you're supposed to approach the same
Rivers
court
State.
and contest whatever order that one gave in the first case. It's a very welcome development that the leadership of judiciary, the person of the CJN, is weighing in
Yes.
to meet the judges who are involved in this conflicting judgment. And we know that without one, sanity will be restored there.
Yes. At least before the main elections in 2023.
Yes.
We sincerely hope sanity will be restored.
Yes.
Instead of forum to tackle this forum shopping by politicians.
By the grace of God.
Yes. So we are moving on to the sister publication, National Economy. On the cover of National Economy today is insecurity, infrastructure deficit, retard growth of Nigeria's tourism sector. Insecurity, infrastructure deficit, retard growth of Nigeria's tourism sector as experts decry nation's 129th global ranking, 770,000 job losses. Wow. That is on National Economy today. Mr. Odewale.
The headline of the story is very obvious. It's what anybody, any Nigerian on the street knows. Insecurity infrastructure, that the consequences. It's not only the infrastructure, it's not only the tourism sector. In fact, all the various sectors. But focusing it on tourism, automatically insecurity will be a very serious problem that will retard the growth of that sector. When you say tourism, people want to go on picnic, they want to go, and then you now start thinking of somebody coming to come and kidnap you, or somebody coming to armed robbery or armed bandit or kidnappers or whatever. That one we discourage people from accessing those tourist sites, and invariably deny the country the required revenues to be made from such tourism sector. But the infrastructure deficit, particularly road, even the tourism site, do they have good roads lead to the place?
Mr. Dewale, you took the words out of my mouth. I was just dwelling on Yankari Game Reserve. We visited that place years back, and the road was bad.
Yankari Game Reserve.
Yes, Ochi.
That is how it is. There is one other tourism something by State Kwara. I've forgotten the name of that town. If you are to go there, they have a young boy there. The one who will now come and look for plank to put on the river, the last river that are going to cross to the place. And you call that one tourism site. And you see, ironically, the minister in charge now, talk of information, tourism and culture, that man incidentally is from that state. And it's even from his own part of the state, Kwara South. And nothing has been done to revive the road infrastructure in that place. So what are you talking about? So it's very clear what national economy is bringing to the attention of Nigerians. It's very, very clear message to the federal government to wake up and then do something. 770,000 people, 770,000 jobs lost. If 770,000 jobless Nigerians can be engaged out of the millions, it will help a lot. And there will be not talk of the multiplier effect. Yes, the multiplier effect that you have on those 770,000 people. Each one of them will have people to cater for after gaining employment in that place. So it's a very sad story, but the needful should be done by all those concerned. Not just my own message as far as that is concerned. It's a very obvious fact. Yes, it's a very deficit without go to Nigeria tourism sector.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Odewale. From National Economy, we are moving ahead to Blueprint newspaper. That is your paper.
Yes.
And Blueprint today, Monday, 9th of September 2001, has major headline story. Northern Elders Forum to Masari, El-Rufai, Matawale, Sani Bello. Your security measures lockdown on the north. Your security measures lockdown on the north. That is from Northern Elders Forum to Masari, El-Rufai, Matawale, Sani Bello, saying that your security measures lockdown on the north. And on the riders, we have market restriction, closure of schools, others will worsen challenges. Niger monarch, Katsina lawmaker's wife, 2 kids abducted. Jigawa traditional title holder, 2. Fintiri, others closure, that is Adamawa State Governor. Others closure of 30 Adamawa boarding schools. Mr. Dowale, what is your take on this? That Northern Elders Forum telling Masari, El-Rufai, Matawale, and Sani Bello that they are locked down, that security measures is a lockdown on the north. What's your view on this, considering the security challenges that Nigeria is faced with?
Well, if you read the story, because I read the story, one thing I took from that.
They've closed down cattle markets in their various states.
From that story, there is not condemning the measures taken. They are not condemning in totality. But they are saying the governor should not stop at that level. Okay. Stopping at that level will send wrong message to the criminals that government cannot go beyond this level than locking down, and to further embolden them and to carry out their dastardly act on innocent citizens. And the citizens that are at the receiving end, this lockdown will affect them more, even than the criminals, because when we say there is curfew, there should be no interstate cattle transaction, and so on and so forth. It is not by the citizens that you obey such law, and it will affect their economic fortunes. Let me read one aspect of that statement issued by the Director of Publicity and Advocacy, that is Dr. Akim Baba Ahmed. He said that unless these measures are backed with aggressive and effective assault on the banditry and kidnapping industry, they will merely add to the misery and hopelessness of our communities. That one message is being sent. What government is supposed to do, be it at the state level or the federal level, is to take the battle to the doorstep of these criminals. Take the battle to them. But when you are knocking down the communities for them, then you are giving them the impression that they cannot come and fight you. So whatever opportunity you have to go and descend on any community again, it will just be a free go. So yes, the governors, they have reason for coming up with these measures. The Northern Elders Forum, they are not condemning the measures in totality, but they are saying they should not stop at this measure, because this measure will affect the law-abiding citizens far more than the bandits the measures are targeted against. What government is supposed to do is, how are you going to attack those people back with superior firepower? That is it. And they are not government. The bandits are not government. We have government. We have all the resources to procure all the required ammunition to face them. So that is the angle another Elder Forum is telling the northern governors to look at. That's the angle say they look at. That's the most potent angle, not angle of locking down. Remember, for example, Plateau State, curfew was imposed. And then, despite that curfew was imposed, a lot of killings seriously took place. So what are you talking about? The killing took place because those who are carrying out those killings are not confronted by state agents who are supposed to confront them, be it military or police or what have you, and get them arrested and possibly prosecuted. Or you just say everybody remain indoor. Those who are not abiding, who are not diabolically minded, will remain indoor. But those who are merchants of blood merchant, they will even during that curfew. That's where they will even go out. All these call it military officers or police or whatever. When there is curfew, they stay on the main road. How many people are living in houses built along the road side? This is the hinterland. You won't know when these people will come out and be attacking all the remote areas in that type of community. They will go there and kill people. And that's the end of the story.
It all boils down to the fact that Mr. Diwali, that security, I think they are overwhelmed.
Yeah,
Security are overwhelmed.
you have,
And I heard the IGP saying that like the police commissioner will be up, that is having an intake of 10,000 policemen every year. How feasible is that?
when we talk
Because
of,
Nigeria is under policed.
you are right. You see, to say that you're under police is an obvious fact. As you are talking here today, the men and officers, I don't know whether rank and file, men and officers in the Nigerian police, they are not up to 400,000. 360
For a
something,
population of about 200 million.
because I cover the National Assembly every year. The time for that budget defense session is even close now. When these people will resume next week, then the president will bring the 2022 budget. After that one, it will be forwarded to the relevant committees. At that level, all the various MDAs, ministry, department, agency will now start coming to defend their district. Police will come, army will come, all of them will come. It is then they will now be making lamentation galore on yearly basis. Police will say that they have 360 something, it was 365, but within the last 1 year, they have lost so to our armed robbery attack, and so on and so forth. So for a country, let us even rank it to 400 to 200 million. We have not met the international standard at all. Yes, they need to be doing 10,000, but the fact of the matter is that even the architecture, as we said it here, maybe 2 weeks ago, the architecture need to be reviewed. It's too centralized.
It's too centralized.
It's
That's
too
what the
centralized.
Masawi said. Why calling for self-defense?
It's too centralized. Even if you are recruiting more hands into the federal police, now that the constitutional review is being done, and it will be one of the legislative items to be attended to when the National Assembly resumes next week, I think that item should be removed from exclusive to concurrent list, so that if eventually assented to by Mr. President, then states that are buoyant economically will be able to set up their own state police, and gradually, the country will be developed along that direction. Local police at the state police at the state level will be able to match criminals at the local level, or synergize with the federal police in terms of intelligence sharing, and so on and so forth. So not just recruiting more hands, they need to review that architecture. Our security architecture is too centralized. It's too centralized for the required efficient and effective response to problem of to all the various security challenges we are facing.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Diwali. From Blueprint, we move over to THISDAY newspaper. THISDAY says, why PDP may lose all southern states if it zones presidency to north. Why PDP may lose all southern states if it zones presidency to north. Delta, Akwa Ibom, Rivers, Oyo vulnerable to APC takeover. Party still weak in most northern middle belt states, unlikely to make appreciable gains. THISDAY, why PDP may lose all southern states if it zones presidency to north.
Well,
I think that is the paper's permutations. What do you think?
that is paper permutation, because as journalists we have often seen it, the byline Chief Okucha, a very known colleague of ours. It's not that story is not attributed to any APC shifting or even
Yes, I think
PDP
it's a paper.
person. It's like a news analysis. It's like a news analysis. But yes, the way Nigeria is, you have the north, you have the south. And people who see that President Muhammadu Buhari has been there since 2015. By 2023, it will be 8 years. That means power being in the north. Power will have been in the north for 8 years by 2023. So the normal destiny, though it's not in the constitution, but the normal gentleman agreement between the two axes is that after this one, it goes to the other side. But I'm not in total agreement with this analysis. I'm not in total agreement, because let us hit the nail on the head. Regardless of where one comes from, the south doesn't have united front like the north. You can't say south because PDP is not zoning related to the south. Then all of them will vote for any. Okay, if APC zone related to southwest, let me give you one example. Don't forget that Pastor is from the southwest, who first did 8 years, and he's zoned to southwest. So you think somebody from Southeast, another major ethnic bloc in the country, Nigeria stand on three tripod. And it was as a tripod, not a tree, tripod, three legs. That was the Nigeria that the British colonialists bequeathed to us, even as symbolized with the three regions they let us with before the first Republic government created the third region, Midwestern region. Now, in those three regions, you have the Hausa Fulani dominating the northern region, you have the Yoruba dominating the southwest, and then you have Western region, and then you have the Igbos and the major ethnic group in the Eastern region. Now, since we started this democratic journey, 1999, nobody from that part of the country has come on board. So even APC, the APC that is only into the south, if APC does not give that ticket to somebody from the southeast, I see the people from that area, they won't say because they are being PDP, they vote for whoever PDP gives it to in the north. That is my own thinking. More so when you go back to their political issue and relationship of people in the southeast and people in that the place called southwest now, due to the western region. So this thing just yes, people in south, you may pick some states in south, but people in southeast. And then when it comes to politics, sorry to say, our brothers and sisters in the north, when it comes to politics, and somebody from their zone is contesting, the interest there will go beyond the party loyalty. The interest there may go beyond party loyalty. This is this thing. The candidate that will even use that one to market himself in that area, that I'm one of you, vote for me. He will even be more advantageous than the southern person APC gives ticket to when it comes to campaigning in that part of the country. So it's not a foreclosure or something that why PDP. Anyway, thank God he put me.
But when we are on it, Mr. Diwali, don't you think that majority of Nigerians have already had it with this administration, the fact that it has stayed 8 years, and maybe they want a paradigm shift to another zone?
It's a paradigm shift. Is it you are limiting it to regions?
Yes,
now, you are not looking at the party.
No.
Okay. If Nigerians are fed up with APC, that is a different ballgame.
No, not just APC. With this, like for instance, if APC decides to zone it to another region, don't you think that they will stand a better chance? They will also have a shot at the presidency again.
What I'm saying,
because
you see,
people
politics
want the power to
shift. Politics is a game of number.
Yes.
At the same time, it's a game of strategy.
Yes.
Honestly speaking, I don't belong to any of the parties. But if APC is given the ticket to a southerner,
yes,
I get what I say. And APC eventually gives it to somebody, get my point very clear. Give to somebody. We have 3 zones in the south. 2 out of those 3 zones, somebody from 2 out of those 3 zones have occupied that seat. Obasanjo from Southwest was there from 1999 to 2007. Jonathan from I'm talking of the 3 zones in the south.
Yes.
Followed by Jonathan from South zone from 2010, May 5, 2000, he was sworn as Society president to May 29, 2015, 5 years. Was there. Yes. It's only southeast. So if APC is zoning into south, and what I'm saying that, and if it does not zone it, give it to somebody from southeast.
Okay.
Hope you're getting my point now. It will not be a win-win situation for them. That's what I'm saying. You can't expect people from that place to now feel at home with that type of a party. Some governors have abandoned the party that brought on the power. That of Imo, Imo is south, Ayade. So at the end of the day, if you not give the ticket to somebody from southwest, so north and south. The north and south now will not be a case of northwest and southwest. Thank you very much. PDP, the one you bring, let's go for that person. So when we look at it, number is there, strategy is also there.
Yeah, politics
maybe that's the reason why this write-up. I know Chusokocha, somebody that is very, very familiar with PDP politics. He covered PDP, was even the chairman of their press corps in the past. So automatically, maybe he's getting the feelers that is where the party is, that is the direction the party is looking to.
Okay.
When the party may have their reasons, it may be a form of strategy. You give it to a southwest person and they pick another person. You know that they will get vote out of the 3 zones in there. One zone will feel left out, and that's why we don't want to vote for that person. They're not coming from the south. That is the fact of the matter.
Yes, I agree with you. But no, let's just go on a short break. When we come back, we'll review. We'll go back again to our staple leadership newspaper. Don't go away. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We are still on Inside Nigeria, coming to you from Leadership Podcast Studio in Abuja. We are going over again to our staple leadership newspaper, the nation's most leading and influential newspaper. And the second lead of leadership newspaper today, Monday, 9th of September, we have federal government gives striking daughters condition for withdrawing suit. Federal government gives striking daughters condition for withdrawing suit. So now the National Association of Resident Doctors have been on strike since almost more than a month ago, and there seems no end to the impasse between the association and the federal government. What are you saying now? The Minister of Labour, Ngige, is telling them now that if they go back to work, they are ready to withdraw suit. So what's your take on that?
Well, the damage has already been done. We said that they have been on strike for over a month. Those who are affected, I know that our ever merciful God will attend to their health needs. I mean, the patient that are caught in the web of this action. All the ward have been emptied. Those who can afford the private hospital are taking their people to private hospital. Those who can afford it, they are for other alternative. So now, a condition for withdrawing their suit, a big striking condition for withdrawing their suit. I think for me, health and education, those are the two sectors. Federal government supposed to close its eye and do whatever is required, health and education. Yes, I give federal government, not this present government, it's met it on ground and continue with it.
Yes.
I give federal government of Nigeria kudos. Nigeria is one of the countries in the world where education is heavily subsidized.
Yes.
Heavily.
Exactly.
I benefited from
it. Not many people know this.
No, when people are condemning the country, I used to tell them,
yes,
I benefited from it.
Do you know that even now, up till now, the tuition for federal university is still so minimal?
Not up to 50,000.
But nobody knows that it's heavily subsidized.
Not up to 50,000.
Not everywhere across the world. Education is expensive. Only in Nigeria.
Only in Nigeria.
That is cheap.
So it's the same thing that federal government have been trying to do in the health sector. I get what I'm
Yes.
saying. So government should not allow itself to be overwhelmed with whatever challenges popping up and so on. Those are the two areas the vulnerables are getting the feelings of government. As education is heavily subsidized, there are some Nigerians whose children are in nursery primary, I'm not even talking of secondary, and they are paying 500,000
Yes.
per term.
That's private.
They have the money, they can pay it. So if there are no this basic school that are not collecting money, that son of a cat butcher and so on and so forth can send their children to, how would those one be educated? So I commend federal government, not necessarily the present President Muhammadu Buhari government.
Yes.
He met it on ground. He was even part of the people because he was once the leader of this country as a military this thing. That was how education have been heavily subsidized right from the beginning. So the same thing with it. So what I want to say is that as far as this ranking this thing, listen to them, call them back to the negotiating table. I get what I say. Give them something that is concrete that they can take home, and then they withdraw their suit. All this emotional blessing, to me, is unnecessary.
Yes, but Mr. Odewale, but my take is that by the time this issue is resolved, that is NANT, and of course, don't forget that Nigerian Medical Association (NMA) is also threatening its own strike, warming up to take over.
On what a grand! Is enemy rivalry NANT?
Yes, and we still have ASU on the other hand, also threatening strike. So we have a situation whereby when one problem is resolved by one association with federal government, the other also does the same route. And the federal government, with its limited budget, can meet the demands of this association and is holding the federal government to ransom.
Thank you very much.
What's your take on that?
Thank you. My take on it is that, you see, be a realist. Being a realist is when you know your capability and your capacity. See, the Nigerian problem is systemic dysfunction. And what do I mean by systemic dysfunction? We are running a unitary system and call ourselves a federation. Yes, the problem has been created. Yes, that will take some process before you can revert back to where we missed the road. But as it is now, if I happen to be president, I will not want to be a president who will want to say, yes, when you go to agriculture sector, look at what I've done. When you go to this one, I will focus my attention. I know that the resources are not there for me to make the required impact across all the sectors. But what I will do is that when I pick about 2, 3, 4 sectors, I will concentrate my attention on those sectors. So that, as I was saying, federal government should mop up its resources. I get what I say, and face the problem in those 2 sectors, education and health, squarely. Because those are the 2 sectors that people, I get what I say, the vulnerables can feel the impact of governance. Those are the 2 sectors. If you go, even if federal government go and borrow $50 billion today, cannot fix all the 35,000 kilometers designated as a trunking road that are under the destiny of a federal government.
Yes.
So why will you now be borrowing? As you are doing this part, when you complete this part, if you are to travel by road?
I do sometimes.
You travel by road. By the time they finish doing one part, maybe a length of 50 kilometers, and then they move to another part. Before they finish another 50 kilometers, the one that they have done, that's why they have started. And why? It's because most of those roads supposed not to be trunking route. Those roads supposed, any road leading from one state to the other, supposed to be road that will be managed by the 2 state governments. You do your own portion, I do my own portion. Yeah, there will be federal highway that will bring and decide how something should be done. But military regime acquired everything, took everything to the federal government, and something is getting the center, the federal government suffocated. Getting the center. So in this type of situation, is federal government supposed to focus on health and education, deploy resources there. Whatever the practitioners in those sectors say they want, I'm not saying they should be throwing money at them. Whatever they say they want, you sit down with, you want to afford this, you want to afford this, you want to afford. Give us something, let them be working, because that is where other Nigerians are benefiting from, to go to school. Yeah? And then if they are sick, they go to hospital. How many Nigerians have the capacity of going to private clinic? So that is my own thing. They should not say that if you give them this one, what about this other? That is where people will feel your impact. I don't know when, sorry, maybe my uncle, during the Second Republic, UPN had maybe 4 or 5 cardinal program. Honestly speaking, that party, what attracted that party to the people of Southwest that time is their health and education, free education, and then free medical this thing. If you help a parent to train his or her child, and then when sickness come, and they go to hospital, they're able to get the required what time do they want? They don't the need for them is not to be indolent. You go and work and then feed themselves with whatever food they can put on their table. That is all. But when you say you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do that, housing this thing that NPA did that time, all those housing program that NPA government was running, federal government was running, started building this thing. The contractor they gave the contract to. There is one by state, they put it in Bodesadu, very close to Ilori. Everybody is deserted, nobody is there. Maybe it's Amoroba that are even living in the place now. So focus on what you know that will be beneficial, that people centered, will be beneficial to the people. And those who went to those Jakande is late now. But those who went to those schools, that Jakande school, you just be makeshift at this thing, and then that goes on. They get the education, they move forward.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Adewale. Well, viewers, I think this is where we'll be drawing the curtain on today's presentation of Inside Nigeria, coming to you from Leadership Podcast Studio in Abuja. And I have had with me in the studio Mr. Taiwo Taye Adewale. He's a journalist and also a public affairs analyst. Mr. Adewale, it was nice having you today.
Thank you very much.
Leadership
It's a
Podcast
pleasure being
Studio.
with you on every Monday morning.
Thank you so much. So until we meet again, same time tomorrow in Leadership Podcast Studio, I remain Winifred Ugbebo. Bye.